So anyway, it's a long-winded way of saying I'm delighted to be here to present to Carmen Johnson and her staff and her Board of Trustees the William Donald Schaefer Helping People Award for Prince George's County 2012 to the Katie Abel Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Leandra Banks.
And I'm Zay Marshall. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Me and Zay, we were just sitting here talking, having a general conversation about some of the things that we've been doing these past few months, some of the people that we've met, some of the trips we've taken. For example, we went to Wall Street. Remember we went to Wall Street?
Yeah.
They protected the Wall Street bankers. They would not allow us to cross the streets. They effectively barricaded us from our protest, and it was obscene. It was frightening to me.
They are waking up and they're becoming cognizant to the fact that there is things wrong and there's different tangents we're going on, and there is a lot of things that need to be corrected.
We talked to a lot of occupiers.
You know, we're talking, this is like a global community right now.
People that worked on Wall Street. People that lived homelessly on Wall Street. So we talked to a lot of different people that were out there in New York that day. It was so cold that day.
It was very, very cold.
Oh my goodness, it was so cold.
But it was like exciting because it was like our first time there.
Yeah.
Well, actually like occupying there.
Right.
So it was very exciting. It was nerve-wracking at the same time doing it because it was like kind of like, how do I ask these people, you know, these questions, like are they enraged, like, and you know, we're being so young, we were so young doing it, so it was like I was kind of nervous in a sense, but it was exciting. It was really exciting to experience that and to actually do that and to be a part of the beginning processes of like a strong, important movement.
Right.
So I was very enthused by that, but it was kind of nerve-wracking. I was on edge at the same time, but it was good. It was good.
But by the time we went to Occupy DC, I don't think we were that much nervous at all.
Downtown DC, we coming to interview some occupiers.
It was like a wonderful experience to go down to DC because this is, I mean, we live here. This is our city. So it was cool, right? So it was real cool to go down to Occupy DC, and by that time we were naturals. We were interviewing people.
We were well seasoned.
Yep. Talking to different people. Just a great experience.
And I think it's really important that this is happening not only here in the United States and here in Washington DC, but it's a mass movement that's happening all over the world.
And I think it's a real good thing they're doing here.
It's a real good movement. There's people down here from all different walks of life. There's white people, there's black people, there's politicians, there's men in business suits, and there's homeless people, and we're all fighting for the same thing.
Like where do we go from here? Right?
Exactly. Where do we go from here? We know what's going on, and the occupiers are trying to tell us something, but nobody's paying any attention.
Not only myself, I think everyone would appreciate them fighting, but it seems like nothing's being done.
Can you imagine what they're going through? Can you imagine how they living? Can you imagine what's really... I know I commend them because I couldn't do it.
I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful to be one of the few youth that actually know what's going on and actually are coming to an understanding of what's really going on. I'm also grateful for all the people that are out there fighting for us. Without those people out there being homeless, sleeping in those tents and things like that, we wouldn't. They're paving the way for us right now. So after taking a trip to Wall Street and coming back, I realized that the Occupy movement is going on all over the world. I didn't even know it was going on in other countries. Germany, France, Hong Kong. Not only are people occupying Wall Street and financial literacy, but people are also occupying jobs.
Hundreds of people are here from all over the country. So we out in the rain, protesting on jobs. Zane, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's great. We're trying to, take back our futures for the youth. Youth empowerment.
It's great that everyone is out here supporting everyone from all different walks of life. We're all fighting for the same thing: jobs, economic equality.
What do we want?
Jobs!
When do we want them?
Now!
Woo! When do we want?
Now!
What do we want? Jobs! When do we want them?
Now! What the rain is up?
This is how you occupy.
Nice to see you. Yeah, thank you. It was good to see you, Donna Edwards. Yeah.
Each meeting we have with our comptroller is always educational.
I'm kind of proud of the financial literacy issue because it was my idea.
On the topic of financial literacy, because financial literacy is so important, again, if you don't know what financial literacy means, it is the ability to understand finances. It's like so important today because it's like it surrounds like our economy. It's like why it's so bad because of people's lack of understanding finances then brought us to the place we are now, but we have to get to a further place where we have to break past it and we have to be more knowledgeable of financial literacy and this whole topic because financial education is a power. We say it from time to time again because it's true.
Right.
So how do you feel about your financial literacy knowledge skills?
Well, me as a young adult, I also think that it's very important that other young adults become more financially savvy and just get their finances in order. As you all have seen us talking to occupiers and different homeless people and things like that, we don't want to be in the same world. You know what I mean? We want to change the path that has been paved for us. So if we start now when we're in our teens, leading into our early 20s and so on and so forth, I feel like when we get to that age, in our 30s and 40s, we'll be in a lot better place than the adults are right now.
Right.
Because we're so young learning financial knowledge opposed to waiting when we're 30 or 40 to know how to balance a checkbook. No.
Yep, the best knowledge to instill into someone and to anyone is at a young age. So it's very important that we get the message across. It's very important that we take in the message. It's very important that we take in the knowledge that we're being instilled by others to deliver. So.
Right. And to me, financial education is just as important as your science class, just as important as your geography class, just important as all those other classes. Financial education is just as important.
All right, so what do you think we're going to accomplish at Robert Frost this morning, this second half of filming the kids?
Well, I hope they, I think we'll accomplish a lot. I think it'll be good. I think people will be really amazed by their thinking capability and the things that they know.
Well, to me, I guess what I'm trying to convey on the camera is that a lot of youth are aware of what's really going on, and, I need the adults to understand that their kids are watching everything that they do. That's why we need to make sure we are raising our youth properly.
Yeah.
Hey.
what do you guys think about financial literacy?
Financial literacy, to me, it means like money.
Well, I think financial literacy is like how we use the money. Financial literacy is like saving our money and using it for important goods.
Hello, Mr. President. My name is Caleb. The mayors in Hyattsville were trying to cut the services to the citizens of Hyattsville. I think it would help if you could address this problem going on.
Hello, my name is Yvonne, and President Obama could you lower down the prices of food and clothing?
Dear President Obama, my name is LaShawn. Reduce the prices on school uniforms.
Lower the gas prices. Could you please do something about people who are homeless?
President Obama, can you please lower the taxes?
President Obama, I would like you to help the immigrants get to the United States because my family needs help and they're ill and they need jobs.
So today we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about financial literacy, a little bit about civic involvement, leadership, the crashing on Wall Street, and we kind of just want to see what you guys know and answer any questions that you all might have
about the crashing of Wall Street, how it not only affects our everyday people, but most importantly, how it affects our youth.
It's about how stocks dropped and people lost their jobs.
My uncle, he got fired. My grandfather was laid off.
My family doesn't seem to have as much money and they keep complaining about not having as much money as they used to.
Now, who in here likes money? I thought I would see a lot of hands. What do you do with your money when you get it?
Well, basically when I get my money, I put 50% in a saving.
I'm saving my money for the Retro 6 Olympics.
I just spend it on shoes and clothes. I need to like just go out shopping. That's what I do.
So where do you guys get money from?
Money from my mom and my dad. I just ask him to send my money and then he just sends it.
I get my money from babysitting in my parents.
So you earn some of your money?
I usually babysit, like when I don't go to school or when on the weekends, and I get money from there.
Just by me sitting here talking to you guys and looking in you all's faces, I see leaders, I see entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers.
Talking about how the economy is going right now and things on like such as the issues on Wall Street.
We try to make financial literacy a requirement for students to graduate so they can have a knowledge of what to spend, how to spend their budget, their planning, their future goals and stuff like that.
Oftentimes when we elect people to office, they're going to think on their level because they've already superseded that level of minimum wage and middle class. They may say they have the middle class at heart, but they cannot think at the same level because they're not at that level. They don't live on that level and they don't come back to that level when they go home.
Most of the time now, we do not really know what they're planning because mainstreamly wise, they always are going to talk about religion and how they're going to help us.
What steps have you guys taken to ensure your financial freedom?
I plan on getting a job during the summer, and I plan on saving some of my money for college.
Right now I'm working my hardest to get a scholarship one way or another.
Like, since we're a minority, I feel that we should get as many scholarships and take the advantage, like get as many scholarships as we can.
In America, we have a strong sense of individualism that says that like, well, I have what I got, so you should go get yours. But like nowadays, it's not like that because jobs are so hard to get.
So it sounds like to me that we really should have financial literacy in the schools.
What you don't understand is that the bank, it's not something to help you, it's actually a business. So like, they're gonna want something out of it because they're a money-making business. So like, they're gonna make sure that you're gonna be paying that loan for a very long time. They want you to keep paying it. It's not your fault, it's their fault. I mean, it's your fault for not taking financial literacy because you don't know what you're doing with your money. But they know that you're a student in college, you're very, very new to life. They're like, oh, let's take advantage of this young boy. Let's take his money and let's leave him with nothing. They just keep taking until you're buried in that soil.
I graduated from Lansdowne High School and I was a part of their accounting and finance program. It doesn't matter what you do, you need to know how to manage your finances. because once you step out the doors of either high school, college, or wherever you stop, it's going to hit you in the face.
Hello, we are here today. Ed Barrows accepted our invitation and we are very excited about that. And it really feels good to have a supporter that sits on the Board of Education, which is Ed. He's been supporting the Kate Abel Foundation for a very long time, and we really, really appreciate it. And we are very excited about this interview, and talk to you soon.
Today we have with us Mr. Edward Burrows. How are you doing today?
How are you?
So what are your personal takes on financial literacy, and how do you think financial literacy is in effect with our youth today?
Absolutely. So my thoughts on financial literacy are twofold. The first, as a young person, I'm only 19 years old, and one of the first things that I received in the mail when I turned 18 was a credit card. And not every student, especially in our community, know what to do when they receive credit cards in the mail. When they get the credit cards, they go, they spend money that they don't have, they get in debt, they can't afford to pay for college, and it's really a cycle. And the only way to really defeat that cycle of poverty is through education, and education with financial literacy, education just in general, and that's why financial literacy is so important.
So Steny Hoyer, Congressman Steny Hoyer, was one of the people that we got the privilege to actually interview.
It was such an honor to meet him.
That was a nerve-wracking experience, actually.
I remember that whole interview so well because walking in, I fell up the stairs behind the scenes. And walking out, she fell down the stairs behind the scenes. So
I tripped.
How can you forget that moment?
Right. But we gathered a lot of good information from him. Nonetheless, it was a very, very informative interview.
Very. So. It was so honorable because he's such a high-powered man in our area and in the whole world. So I felt like
he had pictures with Obama.
I know.
So, right.
That was like such a break for me, interviewing him.
Right.
Like such a high-powered person, per se.
The financial crisis that we experienced starting in December of 2007 and the recession, the deep recession we've been in, has had a very hurtful effect on literally millions of people. They've lost their homes, they've lost jobs, they're having trouble finding jobs, their family finances have been stressed, some have been forced to go into bankruptcy. One of the major issues confronting our country is growing jobs, getting jobs for people who want to work. Work is not only a way to earn a living, it is a way to have self-respect and a sense of independence. And there's no more important issue confronting our country today than getting people back to work.
Another person we got a chance to interview was Senator Benson. She is a wonderful woman with endless knowledge. Youth is her biggest passion. She loves the youth as anything for the youth. We interviewed her about different topics and her views on education, Wall Street, financial literacy. That was also a very, very informative interview.
I took a lot from her because her interview was so educational for me and so inspirational. So I took a lot from her and I walked away from her office feeling so empowered and motivated to continue on with my movement within a documentary and also my movement in life, being successful and being a leader. So I really appreciated her words during that moment. I loved it. Very touching.
Yeah.
My love for education and my love for wanting to become an educator started when I was in 2nd grade. And so I have education as one of my top priorities in being down here. As I assess my my love for young people, so I want our youngsters to be the best that they can be. The youngsters in our society have to really understand the history of Wall Street, the collapse of our economy, what happened with the foreclosures. We as adults have to do a better job of educating our young people as to what truly happened on Wall Street. And we must give our youngsters the skills, and we must talk with our youngsters about the things that they should do in the way of preventing this from happening in their generation. Because the problems on Wall Street boil down to one word: greed. People are seeing a need now to extend themselves to help other folks. It is not about the Democrats or Republicans. It's about people coming together to work for the good of future generations.
I don't like me as a politician dictating to educators what they need to teach. I think they need to recognize that it's very important that every student be financially literate. So in that sense, I think it should be part of every student's curriculum.
So throughout the whole process of creating the documentary and the TV shows and things like that, not only have we had the pleasure to meet all these wonderful people, but it's just been a great experience for not only myself, but I'm sure a great and wonderful experience from Zane. We've grown so much. We are young leaders, and we take great pride in being young leaders and hoping that our message gets portrayed, that we can all be leaders. You know, the same people that we've met, you all can meet, anybody can meet. You know, we can all be whoever we want to be.
I grew up always following people, and then I broke out of that cycle when I got introduced to the KDO Foundation, and I started leading my own path. And you know, it's the best thing is to own your own future and to lead, to make something out of yourself. So that's what I want to teach other youth out here.
Based on your experience and the young folks that you've seen as you were growing up and the ones you see now back in the middle school in the 9th grade, what do you think they need?
I think they need leadership. They need someone to look up to. They need to understand, like, they need to love themselves for who they are, and they need to make their own decisions.
So one thing people cannot take from you: they can take your house, they can take your car, they can take a whole lot of other things, but you can never take your education away from you. So if you ever get that, once you go out there and get that education, then you're setting yourself apart from a lot of other folks.
Because, you know, I was in a position early on in life where I used to follow the crowd, but I realized I had to break from the pack and just follow my own way. And it was a lonely time, but, you know, you grow and you move past it and you be a strong, successful person. And at the end of the day, all you really have is yourself anyways. All you can depend on is yourself. So you was brought in this world alone, and, you know, continue on alone, but but no, you'll make great friends, and you know, you'll always have your family.
In special cases, we do intervention, household budget interventions. So we are doing a Katie Abel Foundation household budget intervention.
Come please. Shelly, I told you that I needed you to come.
Didn't tell me anything about recording. We don't have to show you on the camera, but we do want to teach financial literacy. I decided that it was a good idea to come in and talk to the family about how, you know, we can all work together. Down the road in the next couple of months, she could be in a situation where she could lose the house. How could, you know, you guys work as a family to make sure this doesn't happen? She really needs y'all help.
I'll have a suggestion, more so a concern, because you know more about it than I do. The depth that you were going and speaking to somebody else about it, you never sat and talked with me about it like that.
But you don't hear me complaining every month for paying these bills.
No, honestly,
you don't hear me complaining every month. Every month I'm complaining.
Ms. Rockland, what do you think? What do you suggest?
To hear about it like this. This is the first time it's coming out like this. And personally, I'm offended by it. Because this is not what I understood was happening today. And then to come downstairs and see this, I'm like, explain to me, and I have, you know, I just have a problem with kind of like being misled with what's happening.
Turn the camera off. People get funny about money, you know. It's best for you to take a stand while you're in control than take a stand and ain't no money coming in. Approach the situation with love, the light, respect, and all that kind of stuff.
Leadership, why it's important, what leadership means.
There's many different aspects to being a leader. Of course, you have to remain positive and keep a positive attitude. Not being a follower, doing your own thing, walking to the beat of your own drum. Being a leader is many different things.
Being a leader is important because it changes our history. It's what shapes our history. For one, it's what, you know, leads our society and changes society around us. So that's why it's so important to be a leader. You have to lead and not follow, because if you be a leader, you're moving forward. If you're a follower, you're moving backwards, and we don't want to be stuck left behind. So we got to move forward, and we got to be strong and lead the paths amongst ourselves and amongst our friends and our peers, everyone around.
Everyone needs to be a leader and take the necessary steps in becoming a leader.
When I was younger, I had like a I don't care attitude, you know, which, you know, probably didn't put me in the best situations, you know, early on, but it came to a point where I realized I needed to change, not only for, you know, the people around me, but for my future, because at the end of the day, it's like, all you got is yourself. I had to change for myself. In elementary school and in middle school, I was like, you know, that class clown, like troublemaker, you know, things like that. But in high school, I just like turned my life around and like isolated from the in crowd, as you want to say. Like, I guess the in crowd, they do certain things that I didn't want to involve myself within, like, you know, do drugs and fights and things like that. I just stayed away from it, and I just followed my own path. And within my path, I just always wanted a successful future. Keep your eye on that target, on your goal, whatever it may be. You'll get there. And it's like the best appreciation at the end of the day.
My name's Jan, and I learned that you need to believe in yourself, but you also have to work at what you want to do.
Yeah. My name is Nico, and I learned that you should be a leader and set your own examples.
My name's Gerald, and I learned I'm going to be myself and be my own leader and never be a follower and make the right decisions.
My name is Zainab, and I learned that being a leader is when you invest in yourself. My name is Amari, and I learned that if you push yourself a little, you can achieve just about anything. My name is Niley, and I learned that your future is very important and it's never too early to start preparing.
So I hope you guys prepare for your futures today. We certainly hope you enjoyed our financial literacy recap.
But before we leave you, remember to do something to justify your existence, because together we can create the future.
And always remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @KDAble.
Until next time, I'm Zay Marshall.
And I'm Leandra Banks.